So we visit family in St. George, Utah every month. And as part of that, we decided to start delivering our furniture all the way down to Vegas since it's close to St. George. So we do that every month. And as part of that, since I'm in Vegas, I decided to get a case, like a display case, in one of the antiques and collectible shops down there in Vegas. So the shop I'm at is called Main Street Peddlers in Vegas, and it's right there by the Stratosphere. You can see the Stratosphere up there on the left. It is near the Pawn Stars shop, and it is in what they would call kind of the antique district of Las Vegas. A lot of cool vintage 1950s and 60s architecture. Here we are going up that street, and I'm about to turn into the building, and I want to show you all of my area and some of the shop as well. One of the really interesting parts about selling in an antique booth here in Vegas, and something I didn't really realize because I'm not from Vegas, is not only do you get the locals, which is a really cool eccentric group of people, but you also get all the tourists coming in from all over the world. When I'm there doing my work and my shift, there are people from all parts of the world speaking all different languages, and it's just really cool. So here we are about to come check out my little case. And as you can tell, it is chock full of vintage toys. I got the He-Man top there on the top left, another He-Man vehicle. Those are some of my high-priced items I have in the booth, but honestly, my whole method with a booth is just churn and burn. I just have a lot of lower-priced items, or, just interesting stuff, but not super high price that tourists will come in and just buy quickly and leave. Some cool autographed items right there. I love bobbleheads, guys. I just love them. Those are vintage, a little overpriced. That's one thing I noticed about thrift shops and antique shops in general, is people tend to overprice them, overprice their items. And that's something I try to rail against. I want my items to move. I want people to come in and go, oh man, that's a great deal. And if I'm doing my job, I'm not paying more than $1 or $2 for most of the items I have. So it's not a big deal if it sells for $6, $7, $8. Not a big deal at all. There's a cool In-N-Out canister set. I used to work at In-N-Out about 10 years ago. Really, really groovy place to work. Here we are going to another booth. One thing you're going to notice up there, right straight ahead, I believe that's a Las Vegas Christmas ornament. Obviously, they're going to have a lot of Las Vegas memorabilia at an antique shop in Vegas. And wherever you are, look for stuff that is local to you. That stuff has a audience, not only nationwide, but worldwide. I live in Utah. So much Mormon and LDS stuff all around me, and there's Mormon and LDS people everywhere. So I sell a lot of that. Now, this booth is a real gem. You can see right ahead of us is a couple skateboards. One of them is a chicken head Tony Hawk one from the early 80s. I actually sold one of those this summer. Got it for $5 in a wheelbarrow, and it sold. I found it in a wheelbarrow, and under some tools, and I sold it for $394. Just got done with my shift at the Main Street Peddlers here in Vegas. Part of what I do to rent out that little case is I have to do one 8-hour shift every month. That's part of the contract, and I do deliveries for the furniture side of our business. So we actually have 2 deliveries that we're doing, one in Henderson, one somewhere around here. But before I do that, I am off, and I'm going to stop at my favorite places when I'm down here, thrift stores. I'm going to hit up my favorite Savers first. This Savers got a really cool retro vibe to it, kind of 60s atomic Vegas. It's a huge one. It might be one of the bigger ones in the world, I think. And then after this, I think I'm going to go the one on, I think, Tropicana or Flamingo. Another huge one, has a lot of toys and stuff like that. So I'm excited to check it out. So let's do it. Now, you guys know me. I got into the Savers and I went straight to my favorite part of the shop, the toy section. I probably should learn my clothes, I know that, but I skip through those and I go straight to the toys. The first thing I found that I decided to buy were these Yo Gabba Gabba plushes. I decided to buy them because they were new with tag, and together I thought I could get about $10, $10 or $12 plus shipping. Now, this is a cool plush. It is Walt Disney World. It is a little bit vintage. Was definitely going to buy it, but it had a hole in it. It had a little opening. Unfortunately, couldn't buy it. Definitely was in Vegas. There's a lot of what happens in Vegas mugs, or you'll see later on, I believe I have a Chumley mug that I'm showing, but there's a lot of cool Vegas memorabilias in these Savers. They are huge Savers too, but it is a hoot to go visit them. Going down the knick-knack aisle, and I found another item that I decided to get. This is a New York Giants tumbler. I don't know, I have a thing for cups and tumblers and mugs, just because the entry point is so low. You don't have to spend a lot of money to get these, and it's okay if they sit because the price is low. There's a ton of stuff I like right here. These starting lineup figures, they're not worth too much and they are severely overpriced. I just thought I'd show you. Just got out of the first Savers. I did get 3 things. I got that shark that you saw. That shark is from Aquaman, which came out last year. It's just the shark. It's not the figure that came with it. I like to find like separated figure sets quite a bit. Like think, oh, this figure, sometimes with the action figures, they're only available that variation with whatever it came with the building set or with the animal or whatever. So you can only find that variation. So sometimes they're worth more, which is awesome. This shark, I think you can only get the sharks that came with the guy. Not big money, but it was inexpensive for Savers. I think it was $2. I think I'll get about 8 to 10 plus shipping. I also got those 2 Yo Gabba Gabba plushes for $3. I think I can get about 10 to 12 plus shipping for them. They're kind of all over the place, but I think lotted up, that's what the key is with that, so I'm going to do that. And last up, I got that New York Giants tumbler. It was $1.29, which is really inexpensive for Savers, and I saw similar ones going for about $20 to $25. Couldn't find the Giants one. I'm thinking $10 to $15 plus shipping for $1.30. I'm here. Was not a great night at this one. I'm going to go head over to the other one here in Vegas, the big one, and I may hit one more before they close if I can. If not, I'm going to deliver my stuff and head back to St. George. Wish me luck. Once again, cruising straight through all the clothes, and there might be some great vintage goodness in there. I'm just not super into it, so I go straight to the toys. Start out with this kind of Cabbage Patch looking knockoff. Not worth much, but I did check it out. There's a Joker Imagine X set. Just too much to ship, unfortunately, on that. Bunch of, smaller kids' toys, toddler toys, and big toys that are really hard to ship. That's another thing you want to stay away from in general is the big sets and big toys because the shipping eats into all the profit you could possibly get. I'm looking to see if I can't find, I love action figures if I can find them, but that's typically going to be in the bag section. If I do find any, there is a really nice looking kind of nerdy, very specific board game. You want to look for very specific titles and stuff like that. You want to look for board games that have designers' names on them, like Hans Zimmer's board game, da-da-da-da-da. That was way overpriced, $30. It was barely worth $30, but I thought I'd show you they did severely overprice that. In the bags of toys, I did decide to get this because it was a lot of Sesame Street little plastic PVC figures and a Walt Disney World Donald Duck, I believe. So I got that for $5. It wasn't the best score in the world, but like I said before, I like getting books, but at the thrift store, I generally stay away because they're too expensive. Take a look. Here's that Chumlee I was telling you about earlier. There's so much Chumlee stuff. I believe last year I got a Chumlee autographed one, or a year or two ago. I think I kept it or I lost it. I don't remember what I did with it, but I was thinking about getting it, but I decided against it. Here's another one of those metal embossed popcorn tins that I've been getting a lot lately. They are everywhere. Lion King. On the low end, as far as those go, I think about $8 to $10 plus shipping. It was only $2 in great condition. I couldn't pass it up. Here's another great thing. Look out for ceramic Starbucks tumblers. I sold one about 3 or 4 months ago that had a kind of like tattoo artist work on it. And it sold for, I think, $60 plus shipping. Day 2 down in Vegas. We decided to come back down because there was something we wanted to get on Marketplace down here. And we postponed a delivery. So we just got done with that as well. And now we're going to Savers. What I think there is half off day down here on Mondays. I'm usually not down here on Mondays, so I'm pretty excited to see if we can get some good deals. Fingers crossed. Here we are, coming into Savers. Don't mind the big crack in the window. Haven't been to this Savers. We're in Henderson, Nevada. Hope it's half off. I know the one on Charleston, Vegas is half off, so hopefully this one is as well. Here I am going straight to the bag toys as usual. Checking out the Chicago Cubs Oyo kind of figure set. A Lego ripoff. Fortunately not worth enough to buy. Here's Dawn showing off some of her finds. A couple wooden cats with great blue eyes. And some other pieces of decor. She found me something that I just loved. But unfortunately, it was fake and falling apart. A Digimon, vintage Digimon clock. If that was real, I mean, that could have been worth a ton, but it was definitely fake and not in good condition. This was not fake, though. This was a huge score. It was $1, I believe, 99, or sorry, $3.99. It was $3.99, numbered to 100. This person's work is just hundreds and hundreds of dollars on up. And these are also something I decided to get, these VIP experience 8x10 photos. People have those going for about $40 on eBay, and I picked them both up.